You're listening to the Dad Whisperer podcast with Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield, the place where you, as a dad, will gain more tools for your fathering toolbox, and where moms and daughters are also invited to listen into the conversation. Now, here is your host, Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield.
Hello and welcome back to the Dad Whisperer podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield, and I welcome you here again today, especially if you're a dad who wants to add more tools to your fathering toolbox. And you know how much I love meeting with you every time. I wish I could see your face because my heart is turned toward you, Dad, as we join together with a similar goal for you to be a dialed-in dad to your daughter so that she knows your heart is turned toward her, no matter the phase of life she's in. Well, you know the grid I use every week. On your mark, get set, go. Dad, picture yourself there with other dads who are listening right now. Imagine they're right there with you, side by side, getting ready to run their fathering race alongside you this week. I'm on the sidelines as your coach, saying on your mark, get set, go. On your mark, topic or the theme, get set, filling that in with stories and stats, and go is always your practical action step so that when you hear these themes and hear these topics, you're not just in a blur, right? You're actually moved to action to be that hero that you want to be and your daughter needs you to be, which means you have to have an action step. So that's why I always challenge you to have one takeaway, one go step, one action step that you can actually do, which also not only builds your confidence, but it also builds your competence. Those go together. More competence, more confidence. More confidence, then you want to be more competent, and those kind of feed each other. And that's really, at the end of the day, my goal is to equip you, to encourage you, to challenge you, to champion you. Well, today on your mark is Assets and Facets. 7 ways a dad can make his daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. And this is actually part 2. If you listened last time or missed it, go back and listen to it because these go together, part 1 and part 2. Last time was Stumbles and Fumbles, 8 ways a dad can recover when he's dropped the ball with his daughter. My goal was to help you as a dad have a template, a grid of 8 things where you could self-evaluate and say, how am I doing as a dad? If I fumbled the ball, what do I need to address so that I can move things forward? But today, part 2 is really, I want to encourage you, Dad, and let you know there are 7 key ways that you can help your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. Well, let me just start by actually breaking down the title a little bit. So Assets and Facets. Obviously, I use that so it would rhyme. But you know that an asset it's a resource. It's something that has value. It adds to. That's you, Dad. You actually add to your daughter's life. You may not always get that message back. You may be in a season where it's going sideways, but at the end of the day, I want you to keep that in mind. How do you internalize the truth that you matter and then pray in that direction, move in that direction? Sometimes waiting is part of an action step until your daughter's ready, but that's the truth. You're an asset. Number 2, facets. That's one side of something. Like you think about a diamond, the different facets in the stone, which means when you look at the stone, all those various sides of something add to the uniqueness of its whole. That's you. You offer something specifically unique to your daughter that only you can bring. A stepdad can't bring the same thing as a biological dad, and vice versa. We all bring something, but Dad, your role in your daughter's life has great value. Now, part 2 of my title today, 7 ways a dad can make his daughter feel safe, seen, and secure, is actually, those words come from Dr. Dan Siegel. Maybe you've heard of him, a psychiatrist from UCLA. He is an expert, a pioneer in the field of neuroscience and interpersonal neurobiology. How's that for a mouthful? I've actually had the privilege of learning from him, sitting under his teaching before, and he's not only brilliant, but he puts things down on what I say, like the lower shelf, so everyone can understand them. And that, to me, is the sign of brilliance. It's not someone that talks so heady that you just stand in awe and say, I have no idea what they said, but this man is brilliant. Like, just for an example, listen to one of his titles of his books, Parenting from the Inside Out. Subtitle, How a Deeper Self-Understanding Can Help You Raise Children Who Thrive. Oh my goodness. That might be your go step, and I haven't even gotten to the topics today where you might say, okay, 7 things, that's a lot to take in. I'm just going to stop here. I'm going to go get that book today because I want to understand myself better so I can be a better dad to my daughter. That would be an asset and facet step for me today. Great. Okay, great. You got something in the first 5 minutes. Okay, another thing. Here is another book title. And this is where my title came from today. This is a book he co-authored with Dr. Tina Payne Bryson. Here's the title, The Power of Showing Up, How Parental Presence Shapes Who Our Kids Become and How Their Brains Get Wired. And they talk about 4 things that children need from a parent, which is to be safe, seen, soothed, which is a calming aspect to a parent's presence. And also the 4th one is secure. That all 3 of those things, safe, seen, and soothed, lead to an attachment where a child feels secure with a parent. So at the end of the day, I love all of those because those are common things in my field of psychology that we hear about. Does your child feel safe, seen, soothed, and secure? But I decided to take out the word soothed out of my title just because your daughter might be at a stage where you're like, she doesn't want me to soothe her, or that seems creepy, or I think we need to break that one down more specifically. So I am choosing 3 of the 4, but I want to give Dr. Dan Siegel credit for that topic and that title because it bears a lot of truth. So Dad, that might be your go step where you want to get one or both of those books by Dr. Dan Siegel, where you can not only get more input, but that I would call putting more tools in your fathering toolbox because you're getting more data input from someone who really understands what it looks like in a secure relationship to see, right? To add safety, let your daughter know she's seen, help her feel secure, and dial in that way. So there you go, Dad, some practical action steps here before I've even gotten to the meat of today's topic. Because what do I love? Action, action, action. Okay, so get set. I'm giving you already ideas, right, of how you can put into action some of this content even before we get going. But now, ready, drum roll, go. Here we go to the go set. And what I mean by go is be thinking as you're hearing these 7 things and as I'm building the foundation before we get to the topic, is be thinking go step, go step, go step. What is one thing you can do to put your love for your daughter into action? Okay, before I give you the 7 things, so this is a little bit like last week where I said, before I gave you the 8 things, the prep before a football game is as important as what you do on the field and the debrief after, right? It's kind of 3 parts to the whole. Afterwards, you're like, what did we do wrong? What could we have done better? And what did we do right? On the front end, you're saying, who's our opponent? What are we up against? What do we need to strengthen on our team to be ready for that game, right? Well, it's the same here today. Even though it's the positive side of this conversation, I still want you to think football game is, Dad, okay, today we're talking about the positive things that you offer, things that you do well that she needs more of. And I also want to set that up. So this is kind of the pre-game conversation before we get to those things. And that's first that I want to talk about how important you are from a biblical perspective. And this is something I learned from my husband, Dr. Ken Canfield, that 23 times in the Bible, we hear the word parent or parents. 23 times. Okay, this is Old and New Testament. The word mother or mothers is found 260 times. Oh my goodness, 10 times the first thing, specifically mothers. Do you know how many times father or fathers is mentioned in Scripture? 1,518 times. 1518. Yes, you heard me right. That to me underscores why fathering is foundational to the heart of God. Dad, you matter. Malachi 4:6, last verse of the whole Old Testament. is where God knows he's signing off as a father for 400 years. The last word of the Old Testament is curse. The last verse is, he will turn the hearts of fathers to their children and the hearts, not the heads, of children to their fathers. And he says, so I won't come and strike the land with a curse. So this heart turning, I'm passionate about helping you as a dad understand that. And today I'm breaking that down specifically in 7 ways. And yet I wanted to set that foundation first about how important you are as a dad. And God says it clearly in the Bible. And some of your roles are honoring, teaching, blessing, protecting, disciplining, correcting, encouraging, training, nurturing, urging, empathizing, exasperating, and provoking. So good. You heard some positive, some negative. But all of those roles are attached to fathers in the Bible. Again, I underscore the conclusion. The topic of fathering is foundational to the heart of God. 1,518 times in Scripture. Okay, let me give you a second data point. Barna Group, you may have heard of them. They're a research group. They published an article called The Power Influence of Mothers in Christians' Households. Okay, there we go. Not dads, and yet they mention dads, but I want you to hear this. The study finds that mothers, more often than fathers, are seen by their children as being present, as being faithful, as being confidants, as being sources of strength and wisdom, and providers of support and drivers of faith formation. Now, I know that was a mouthful, but are you seeing that kids are taking these surveys? In fact, I forgot to give you the number. Sorry about that. I don't have that written down about how many, we call that the lowercase n in a study, how many they interviewed for this study. But I would say they have pretty robust research here at Barna Group where, they're not interviewing 10 kids, 20 kids, 100 kids. They have a pretty big data set. And over they found that mothers were seen as the ones who show up, who listen, who can be confidants, who even are drivers of faith formation. Okay, but listen to this. They also found that fathers play a key role when they're meeting their kids' tangible needs for money. I know, that's not a big surprise, is it? And logistical help. Isn't that interesting? Like navigating, things that take strategy or thought or planning or, clarifying maybe with bank accounts or car or debt or, navigating maybe some strategies in sports and those kinds of things. Dads, you matter. So I wanted to underscore that even though that was about mothers, and you may say, I want to be the confidant. I want to be strategic in faith formation so that in our family, that doesn't fall to mom. We're going to be a family that breaks that norm, that breaks that status quo of saying this is what women do better, and this isn't moms tooting their horns at all. This is kids saying this is what our moms do more often than our dads. Dad, use that as your go step. I'm going to make that my goal to outdo, if you will, mom in being a confidant, present, faithful, a source of strength and wisdom, a provider of support, and a driver of faith formation. There you go. The other thing, though, to know is that dads excel in providing teens support. I forgot to tell you, this was with teenagers. So that gives you an idea of the age range of kids that were studied here. But it shows that you, dad, you do matter with money. You do matter with teaching about logistical things in life. And even in some spiritual development, but that's where I think dads need more support, is how to become a spiritual leader. I have addressed that here on the Dad Whisperer podcast. I have many podcasts that are on that theme. Go back and listen to them. Use Let's Talk, my book that allows you to ask your daughter questions about how you've shaped her faith. Go more into depth with her on that, and you can move the needle there. Okay, my third point that I want to say here on the front end before we get into the 7 things is remember too, Dad, that the overriding themes in research strongly support that when a daughter feels connected to her dad, this is the same with your sons, but I'm focusing here on dad-daughter relationships. She will do better in school. She's more likely to get better grades, finish high school and attend college. So her academic achievement improves when she feels connected to you. So she may be pushing you out going, I've got to study, Dad. I've got to study, Dad. Bring her that data point. Did you know you're actually going to do better in school by feeling connected to me? Come on. That might be your go step. Educate your daughter on that. Here's other really vital things that the overriding themes in research state is that your daughter, by feeling connected to you, will experience greater self-esteem, less depression, less anxiety, less suicide attempts, greater self-esteem. I love underscoring that one, greater self-esteem. Say that after me, greater self-esteem. I'm repeating that one because sometimes you may not get the message that your daughter is feeling like she measures up. Maybe her esteem is low because she's getting beat up out in the world. Ask yourself, are you esteeming her, affirming her, building her up in true things that you see her doing right? Not just addressing what needs to be course corrected, but really esteeming her. That might be your go step because your opinion matters. It carries weight. Daughters who feel connected to their dads delay their sexual debut, which means decreases in teen pregnancy. She's more likely to have healthier relationships with men. She'll have lower rates of substance use. Okay, awesome one there, right, Dad? And she will display more empathy and pro-social behavior. Bottom line, Dad, you matter to your daughter, even if she doesn't know it, and either if you don't know it or forgot it or are getting a message to the contrary, you matter. So Dad, I love underscoring this go step. I keep repeating that, don't I, today? Go, go, go. Dad, if you want to pursue the heart of your daughter, assets and facets, I'm underscoring that today, 7 ways that you as a dad can really dial into your daughter's heart and make her feel safe, seen, and secure. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm excited to share with you 7 ways that you as a dad can help your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. We'll be right back.
Are you a dad who has ever desired a deeper connection with your daughter, but haven't known how to go about it? Let's Talk Conversation Starters for Dads and Daughters is the very resource you need. Dr. Michelle wrote it with you dads in mind. This book will support you with scripted questions, equip you to decode your daughter, and inspire you with stories of other dads and daughters. Don't wait any longer to be the hero you want to be and that your daughter needs you to be. So, to let the talking begin, head on over to drmichellewatson.com/books and order your copy today. This book will become a favorite in your fathering toolbox and will give you the answers you've been looking for. That's drmichellewatson.com/books. Now, back to the Dad Whisperer podcast.
Welcome back to the Dad Whisperer podcast. I'm your host. You already know that. I'm Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield. Today's title on your mark is Assets and Facets, 7 ways a dad can make his daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. Okay, number 1, here's the first way you do that. Identity. Your daughter most likely shares your same last name or did at some point, even if she's married. You know, it's like that's embedded in her identity, her birth certificate. Usually, she is sharing your same last name. So that's part of it, but that's not the whole of it. Is that there is something that you as a father bring to the core identity of your daughter. When she sees that you can face hard things and do them, she'll believe she can do them. When she sees that you have risen above obstacles or challenges or addictions, she will internalize the same belief. I can rise above. When she sees you do the right thing, make amends, ask forgiveness, deal with your own stuff, that is a core identity issue because she sees in you core qualities that she will then internalize. And I know she will do that with Mom, but I really do believe that this whole sense of self that a daughter has, right? It's not just, we got an X chromosome, a Y chromosome. both of them come together, right? And so what you bring, Dad, to her identity of who she is key, even if, like I said earlier, you've gotten a message to the contrary. So that is what you bring, Dad, is a sense of identity as you mirror back to your daughter the truth of who she is and make sure that she knows the positive things, not just the things that you see that she's doing wrong, not doing right, not doing enough of. It's that 5-to-1 ratio that you hear me talk about a lot. Make sure you have 5 deposits to every 1 withdrawal. So identity is number 1. Number 2, here is an asset and a facet that you as a dad bring to your daughter to make her feel safe, seen, and secure. Protection. Dad, that is a really big one that you may or may not really understand as being all that important, because maybe your daughter has said, I can fight my own battles, Dad. I'm in high school. You can trust me. I can, fight off the boys that are the bad boys. I know the difference between the good ones and the players. No, she doesn't. Remember, her prefrontal cortex, this front part of her brain, is not fully developed till she's 25. So at 15, when she's telling you, Dad, trust me, I got this. And you're like, okay, I'll trust her. No, you've got to enter into her space, look through her eyes, look from a distance and see what choices she's making, and then spend one-on-one time with her to protect her. Tell her things you've learned the hard way. You know that in the last chapter of Let's Talk, I have Lead Her to Listen, where she can ask you questions about your life. Like, Dad, tell me things you've learned the hard way that no one taught you. What regrets do you have? Things you wish you would have done different had you known it at my age. Tell me what you were like at my age, which will also help you remember things that you maybe didn't do the best at, or made stupid choices or unwise choices, or you wish you would have done different if you knew then what you know now, But Dad, you are a protector. And you may think, oh, she's wise, she's making good choices over here. That doesn't necessarily mean she's making wise choices over here. Now, I am not saying don't trust her, but remember that, trust is earned. We do that in jobs. We do that with pastors. We do that with employees. We do that with friendships, where over time we earn trust. And so when she's entering high school and she's proven to be trustworthy in middle school, great. But this is now a whole new set of challenges. So find ways to keep the conversation going. Be a chaperone at that event where you're watching from a distance. You're there as a resource. You tell her, let's talk afterwards. What do you wish you would have done different? What are you glad you did the way you did, or made the choice you did the way you did? But that protection piece is a really big, important thing I want to underscore, because I don't think Dad's heard enough. But you know what? There's a second part to this, which is asking yourself, am I helping my daughter feel safe in our home? Is my anger causing her to run to her room, run for cover, because she knows when I come home, she never knows what she's going to get? That protection is not only what's out there, but it's even what you're bringing into your home, or even what's going on with siblings toward her. So that one is a key one. Dad, you bring a protective, I would say, presence to your home that I've had daughters tell me a lot of times, when my dad's out of town for work, my house doesn't feel the same. And I can tell you that right now. I've heard that in the last month from a 21-year-old who is still at home and in college, and said that exact thing to me, where you as a dad might say, oh, she's in college, she's a grown woman, she's an adult. Nope, daughters still feel that sense of security when Dad is at home. You bring a protective covering, and I want to encourage you with that. Today, number 3, here's an asset and facet that you as a dad bring to make your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. That's provision. Ask yourself, as you provide for your children, which is also not just financial provision, but you're providing opportunities, you're providing volunteering, where you say, I'll go with you. I will provide, I'll be your driver. I remember with my dad, so often through the years, he would take me way into adulthood, into my professional career. I'll drive you to the airport. You can count on me instead of Uber to pick you up, take you there. Providing that for me was huge. Saying, I'll mow your lawn. You're super busy preparing for that conference or preparing for the Dad Whisperer podcast or preparing for counseling clients or coaching clients. Let me take something off your plate is provision at different stages of my life development. Dad, that is so important because your daughter will develop a deep confidence in trusting you to care for her needs and to communicate by your action that your daughter is worth investing in. And if you're in a tough place financially, that's real life. But that doesn't mean you can't provide an afternoon where you have saved to buy her a Starbucks and buy her maybe something she loves or buy her flowers, or you can find ways to provide that maybe cost you your time and your presence more than money. But this is also including financial. When kids grow up where they don't know if the lights are going to be turned off, it affects their security, their sense of security. They don't have that reliable, predictable, consistent way of trusting things that are secure. So that might be one that there's not much you can do about it, but I would say have conversations then so that there's predictability in knowing what's coming rather than they're sideswiped. Your kids are sideswiped going, I didn't know that was coming, might be a way to help bridge that gap of letting your daughter know that she's safe, that you see what matters to her and what scares her, and that helps build security. Okay, number 4, stability. Dad, that's a big one. When you're present and attentive, your daughter will settle into knowing she's important and valued, which builds that solid internal foundation in her. I think sometimes we don't think about what we can't see. And that's why even when I'm talking today about your daughter feeling seen, obviously, much of that is an external thing. She knows you're seeing her needs, seeing her emotions, seeing her expression on her face, seeing her friends, seeing her world. But that's even her internal world. So that sense of stability that you bring when you're present and attentive. I know I talked about that presence part a little bit ago, but really that stability I want to encourage you is even internally, like a foundation of knowing my dad is here. My dad will find a way to be here. I mean, I think of my friend, Dr. Dean Mashofsky, that when his daughter, Sophie, moved to New York, he would send her money, Venmo her money, and then she would go to a restaurant and they would FaceTime while he paid for her meal, single woman in New York. She was there with her dad. They're having a dad-daughter date and he could see where she was. He could see where she was seated. He could see what she was eating and he would eat something at home or go to a restaurant himself. What a creative way for a dad to say, I am building stability even from afar by you knowing I'm in your world, I'm in your life with you, and I love you and care about you. I loved that example. I wrote about him in my book because he is a role model that deserves, I would say, is deserving of merit and really commendation here, where I really commend him for being creative. Okay, number 5, security. Here's another way, Dad, that you provide something your daughter needs. And I know I put security in the title today, but I want to underscore that here is when your daughter rests securely in your love, your commitment to her, your unfailing love, your agape love that never quits. No matter what she's going through, no matter what your family's going through, no matter what you're going through, that she knows you love her, you're committed to her, even if she's making choices that you don't agree with, that you're right there to say, I am never going anywhere. You always have me in your corner, even when I don't understand and I'm trying to understand, or I don't like your choices or don't understand them. I want you to know I'm always here. You've got me. How can I support you? You're not as, confident in your job right now. How can I support you? What can I pray for? Those kinds of security pieces that you bring as a dad are very different than mom. Both matter, but they're very different. And so your presence, your input, your investment matters just like mom's. And so if you're getting the message that mom has the bases covered, do not believe that lie, because the truth is you matter. Okay, number 6, here's an asset and facet of what you as a dad bring to make your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. Courage. Dad, there is actually research that shows that the way that a dad plays with his young children is very different than a mom. Mom will often, hey, hold back, don't take a risk, hey, be careful. And dads are throwing their kids higher into the air. Their dads are saying, no, you can do it. I cheer you on. I'll do it with you, or I'll push you from behind. And a lot of that is building physical muscles in your kids, but it's also developing internal reservoirs, internal muscles, internal resources of courage, where your daughter, of course it's true for your son, but I'm talking about daughters here, will say, my dad knows I can do it. I can face fears. I can attempt new feats and fears. Like I can do them all, FEATS. Like I can try that new thing, that scary thing, that hard thing, that complex thing that I don't think I can do. Like I even look back to high school and I talked myself out of taking anatomy and physiology because I said I wasn't smart enough. And I had parents that say, we'll support you in whatever you decide. I look back and wish they would have maybe pushed me harder to step out of my comfort zone and step into my fear, face my fear. Then again in college, I literally signed up for anatomy and physiology and I went to one class and got scared and I dropped the class. I still to this day wish I would have faced my fear. Later in life, I went ahead and got a doctorate. I faced my fears. I kept moving forward even when it was hard and scary. Yes, my dad did champion me and cheer me on. But this one about courage, Dad, when you tell your daughter she can do it, you know she can do it. You've seen qualities in her. She will move forward and take more risks with you backing her up. I promise you. And she needs you to believe that for her until she has made that belief her own. So you bring courage to her. And the last asset and facet that you as a dad bring to help your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure is that you build a bridge to God as her father. That's one of the biggest ones, so that when you're not there, she knows she has a heavenly father who, like her earthly father, is dialed in, will always listen, will agape love her, which is an unfailing, unconditional love that goes the distance forever and ever. And Dad, you are saying, I am a dad who dials into your needs, just like God is your father. I'll never shame or abandon you. I will always be in your corner with love and care and protection. That is how you build a bridge to God as a father. And I've had dads say, this is too big of an assignment. And I've said, I know. That is a heavy one on you as dads. Why God picked that to be his role, and then to entrust you as dads here on earth to carry his message, capital F, Heavenly Father, lowercase f, earthly Father. That's a big responsibility, but it's also a big privilege that God is a father who doesn't leave you alone in this assignment, is saying, I will equip you. I will lead you. I am joined with you. I will help you be a father. You're not on your own, but you got some big shoes to fill for sure. But Dad, how encouraging to know that you have the privilege of helping to build a bridge to God as her father through the way that you love her and invest in her life. And to me, that is the biggest, that's the exclamation point. That is the biggest way, the greatest way you can help your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. Okay. On Your Mark today has been Assets and Facets, 7 ways a dad can make his daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. I have repeated that so many times. I hope that is now burrowed into your spirit, into your soul, into your mind. Now, I want to repeat all 7 so that you can make one of them your go step by saying, this is my strongest fathering asset. I know it. And I want to even make it more of an asset, more of a focus by emphasizing that one. So I want to encourage you today. Usually a go step is, hey, maybe do something you're not doing or work on that. But today I want to encourage you to focus on one of these that you are doing well, that you are doing right, and emphasize it even more this week. Identity. That you are going to say to your daughter, I love that we share the same last name. I love who you are. And you encourage her in that way. If you're good at that, keep being great at it. 2, protection. Remember, you get to physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and relationally invest in helping your daughter feel protected by you. If you're doing that well, keep doing it better. Keep doing it more because your daughter needs that from you. Provision, number 3. Let your daughter know I am here to provide in ways that I can, and a listening ear, two arms that'll hug you when you need a shoulder to cry on. I'm here to provide safety. I'm here to provide love. I'm here to provide time. What do you need from me? Because I want to provide that. And if you're doing that, Dad, well done. Keep staying with the course. Keep staying with it. You're doing well. Number 4, stability. You matter, Dad, in giving stability to your daughter. And if you're already doing that, well done, well done. I cheer you on. I champion you and say, keep providing stability by letting your daughter know that even on the inside, you're here for her. You aren't going anywhere. You've got her back. Number 5, security. If your daughter knows that she's secure in your love and that nothing she does or doesn't do will ever change your love for her, well done. I encourage you. I keep saying well done on these because I want you to know, well done, good and faithful servant. Sometimes it is about being faithful even when you don't get feedback. Well done, well done. I want to encourage you with that because I had one dad say he listens to every podcast till the very end where I say, go dads, because he said, I don't get encouragement anywhere else. And so I really want you to leave today encouraged, filled up, inspired, equipped to keep doing what you're doing right and what you're doing well. So security, if you're providing security, keep doing it. And I encourage you in that, which is now a segue into courage. I encourage you to keep the course with courage. If you are helping your daughter take more risks to build her courage at an internal core place inside of her to build that resource, well done. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep encouraging your daughter to take risks because she will internalize your view of her, that you believe she can do it. Number 7, the last one, is building a bridge to God as her father. Again, it's not about being perfect, but if you're really intentionally focused on wanting her to know that she has a father in heaven who will never leave her, never forsake her, who's always there and always has her back even when you're not there, you are doing well in helping that spiritual foundation in her life be secure. So there you have it, Dad. 7 ways that you can make your daughter feel safe, seen, and secure. Assets and facets. Well, Dad, like always, this is such a joy for me to have you joining me. Share this with friends, subscribe, and really keep listening because I love that we can meet here each time on the Dad Whisperer podcast. Well, this wraps up another week's program. I've loved being here with you, as I just said. I'm Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield, the Dad Whisperer, signing off and encouraging you, Dad, to make today a day where you intentionally and consistently invest in pursuing your daughter's heart. Go, Dads.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Dad Whisperer podcast with Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield. If you're looking for more resources to support the father-daughter relationship, or if you want to connect personally with Dr. Michelle, you can find all the information you need at drmichellewatson.com. That's drmichellewatson.com. And remember, you can listen to the Dad Whisperer podcast anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. And while you're there, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave us a review. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you again on the next edition of the Dad Whisperer podcast with Dr. Michelle Watson Canfield.